Plebby16.
What's up, you damn plebeians? Neo with the Balding Plebs, and I am joined here today for a very special episode by my brother, the Immortal One.
Mr. fucking YouTube, baby.
Before we get into things here, I want to give a monster shout out to Awesome Game Studio for hooking us up with a pre-release code to do our first ever. This is the first ever for our channel. Pre-release gameplay showcase and eventually no BS review for Fury Unleashed, a brand new action roguelike game coming from Awesome Game Studio later this week.
Yes, and you know, I have been really playing a lot of this. They released a demo for it here a couple weeks back, and we played the heck out of that game. And what you have here, guys, is you're actually playing through like a comic book kind of. And it's your typical roguelike, right? I think the best way to describe this is kind of a rogue legacy. You play through, you collect ink in this case, and then you use that ink to buy upgrades when you die. Which, you know, in rogue legacy, you collect gold and spend gold when you die to get upgrades for the next run. And it's a permanent upgrade. I want to make that really clear. That's a huge, huge positive for me in this game. This game has both in-run progression and
post-run permanent progression.
Post-run permanent progression, which is a huge plus. A huge plus. It's something I look for in my roguelikes. I have to have some form of permanent character progression.
Very, very important. So Fury Unleashed will be releasing May 8th of 2020 on Linux, Mac operating systems, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Windows. So, you know, today is not the No BS review. We don't want to give everybody the wrong impression. We just kind of want to talk about some of the gameplay that we have going on here. Let's talk about the really nitty-gritty, the basics. Now, of course, you have a map to navigate, but what is your big goal while you're fighting these enemies? What do we want to build? What are we trying to build?
So this game has actually a real lot of stuff going on in it. You've got a melee attack. You've got a long-range attack with guns, right?
Yep.
And then you can choose your starting loadout to a point.
Yep.
And then as you go, you find different pieces of whether it be equipment, armor, different guns, and you can change out your weapons as you go that way, like we're kind of doing here.
Mm-hmm. Like you see here, finding the Skull Mace, which has actually some buffs for some other stuff down below, too.
So one of the main systems in this game is the combo meter.
Absolutely.
And literally everything seems to revolve around you increasing your combo to basically 5 or more. And that's 5 enemy kills in a certain amount of time without taking damage. And I want to say that again because it's really important.
Yes. Very important.
It's minimum 5 enemy kills in a row in a certain amount of time before your combo meter runs out, basically, without taking damage.
It is significantly more difficult than it sounds.
It is very difficult, because when you look at these stages, there is shit going on all over the place. You've got enemies attacking you. You've got the little flame things shooting the flame things down.
Sometimes the plants come up from the wall.
Shit comes out of the wall, as in hidden enemies.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you kill enemies, they'll explode and they'll hit you.
Yep.
So you have all kinds of hazards on every screen.
Absolutely.
So killing 5 enemies without getting hit is a significant challenge, at least on the hard, which is the standard difficulty.
Yes, it's actually a lot more difficult than it sounds. But anyway, that being said,
a main point here is that when you look at the way the progression is laid out in this game and the different skills and things that you upgrade after every run, a lot of them have to do with increasing your combo time, which is the time you can take, you know, before you have to get another kill to extend your combo, or increasing the amount of, you know, health you can get back during a combo, or things like that. So literally almost everything in this game is built around obtaining and maintaining a combo. There's actually an achievement in this game, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you this. There is an achievement in this game, or a trophy, or whatever you call it, for beating the entire game in a single, unbroken combo. I haven't exactly wrapped my head around how that's possible, but it's apparently able to be done. And boy, would I love to see someone do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any clue how I would ever do something like that.
I think the highest we've ever done is what, 22, 24, 26?
You had a 29.
29?
So that's the highest we've gotten is 29. That would be 29 kills without the combo meter running out and without taking damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's, like I said, just a massive part of this game.
Big focus of this gameplay centers around that combo, but now we've kind of seen a little bit of gameplay here. We've seen us find a few different weapons. Let's talk about that. Not necessarily totally Dead Cellsian in nature, but kind of has a little bit of feels where you're finding different weapons out in the dungeon, out in the worlds that you're in. Give me your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts on the weapons, some of the stuff that we see there.
Well, you have a pretty good variety of things that are happening in the world for in-run progression, right? Or things that are progressions for just the run that you're in, right? You have the treasure chests, of course, which give you armor, give you options to get those different weapons.
Yep.
You have some different things that you trade in, the gold you find. So you can see up here, you see my ink number up there, which is the amount of ink I have. That's going to be my currency I get to bring back with me.
And that's going to be that purple number up there on top.
That's the purple number,
okay.
2080. And then you see underneath it the gold number, 144. That's the stuff I'm going to get to spend in that run to get buffs or, other things that I'm going to find. So I like that a lot. It has both permanent progression and singular run progression. That is really, really important to me, guys. I play, for those of you that are viewers here on the channel, I play lots of roguelikes, and you some of my favorites, whether it be Sundered, Children of Morta, Dead Cells, of course, Hades, what the hell is the one I was just playing? Risk of Rain, different ones like that. You guys know that I want to see permanent progression and in-run progression, and I need my progression to be character-based progression, not just unlock progression. And a big plus here in this game is that this game offers both. Okay? And I really, really like that about it. So, you have your basic, you have jumps, you have your melee attacks, you have your long-range attacks, and you have kind of like a dash or whatever that helps you kind of move relatively quickly, and there are a ton of things to avoid in each of these levels. I mean,
there's traps everywhere.
Some of it is just, to me, is really mind-boggling, and they hit hard on the standard or hard difficulty. It is punishing. 10 points per touch on one of those saw blades, and it starts to whittle the health away awful quick. Considering
how difficult it is to get health back, and one of the only ways to actually get health back is to get a 5 or more combo, and then get lucky and have one of the enemies you kill drop the red orbs.
To get the health back, so, yes. You need to really, really...
There's a challenge.
Understand what you're doing here. We have not been able to make it past the...
First comic book.
The first comic book on the standard difficulty.
Nope.
As of this recording. Now, we are level 35, 37? 39. So, wow, there's a grind here.
So this is something really cool I want to talk about now that we're kind of showing this off a little bit. This is one of the inner world bosses, right? And you will fight many of those in each sequence of levels that you play. This is King Sundu, the, what is this? The kind of what you call like the giant plant boss?
Sure.
And so this is one of the many bosses that you'll fight in the first comic book world. And I actually really like this because it gives you... It's kind of a wild card, right? You never really know when these things are going to show up.
Well, you have the randomized levels that, you're going to play in your first level, which is going to be this jungle level. But the levels are randomized each time you play. What boss you're going to run into is randomized. Or what mini bosses you're going to run into are randomized each time you play. And... they break up the things, and these fights are actually pretty good against these bosses. This is actually...
Very smart
tough,
boss. Very smart enemy design.
They're doable, which I really like to see.
Yep.
And you feel like a total badass when you beat them.
No, and it is. It's something to really keep things kind of moving, flowing, switch it up a little bit, go into a room you're not sure it's going to be in. Boom, you're in a boss. Sometimes it's a blessing. Sometimes it's a total freaking curse. So we have a couple things that we haven't talked about yet. Let's talk about, was an ability you just used in that last fight. The kind of like what is that? The character ability down the bottom left?
So you have a main like super ability, which is used, and in this case you start out with one that is a freezing ability, and it freezes enemies. Doesn't seem to work super great on the bosses. But it does freeze, like if you use it in a very crowded room, it will freeze all the enemies in place for a few seconds and allow you to get your bearings and get some kills in. And so it's pretty useful.
Now we also have some grenades in this game, am I correct?
And you get some grenades as well.
It's kind of like a super shot. It either bounces around corners or bounces off walls. Or if you hit an enemy directly with it, it'll actually blow up when it hits the enemy and do a ton of damage.
Yep. So grenades are super important and super useful. And then you have the fast travel system that is kind of built in.
Now let's talk about this, because this is a really unique fast travel system that Awesome Game Studio has put into this game. I've never actually seen anything like this in a roguelike before.
And I haven't either. Basically, you know, you can use the fast travel system to open up, you know, a lot of the... You open up the areas and then you can fast travel back and forth between them. And... my assumption is that this is integral to maintaining that consistent combo throughout the game.
And that's what I was going to say, was this kind of looks like the thing to keep the combo going, right?
Because when you use the fast travel, it resets your combo meter, right?
Oh,
so
nice.
you don't lose it.
Oh, nice. I like that, yeah.
So it's going to be pretty integral. We have not gotten to a point yet where we're adept enough to really show it off at a level I'd like to be able to show it off for you guys. Well, we're still trying to figure out the levels and kind of understand the core gameplay mechanics. But using this fast travel allows you to go to any of these rooms that you've explored or that you've found the entrances and exits to, and it lets you get around, because you don't want to be backtracking through these stages if you can help it, because of how
long it takes.
How long it takes and how many traps there are, and there's just so much room to get damaged. And it's just really difficult if you're having to backtrack through these areas. This game is playable in single player and couch co-op, which is a really cool feature in a roguelike. I think Right Away to Children of Morta, one of my all-time favorite co-op roguelike games. And this game kind of is made in the same vein. You know, there are a few issues with the two-player system, where sometimes the camera doesn't necessarily track the second player like it really needs to, but it does allow for both players to kind of have their own look, so they're easily identifiable on the screen, which is something I really like. And I think is really important, so that you know where you are at all times.
Absolutely.
We've been playing quite a bit of this in co-op.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this: for anybody that's watching this pre-release gameplay showcase, which I still can't believe I'm saying that is amazing. I'm so excited to be able to be a part of this. What would you say is, out of all of this, what would you say is the most unique thing about Fury Unleashed as a game?
I think the most unique thing is this entire game being built around this combo system. Because it feels like when you're in the combo and you have some upgrades applied, right? You've got a shield going, you've got the health orbs dropping, you've got extra ink that you're collecting. So it just feels like when you're in the combo, it's like being in the zone.
Yeah.
You know, you hear that a lot, right? When you're in the zone in the game. That's what it feels like. And it's awesome. It's a freaking rush.
And
when you're not in the combo, it's like you're off the high.
You're like a drug. You're like a drug addict looking for your next hit because you're trying to get back on the combo.
Absolutely. I mean, that is the truth. And it really almost completely forces, in a way, the gameplay around being pretty freaking good and getting good. Because if you're not in that combo, everything you do is harder. And the combo, again, requires both time and precision. You can't get hit, and you need to do it quick in order to stay in it. So Absolutely. It really requires that you're, like I said, in the zone. And so I think when you say unique features, I would say that's probably the most unique feature. Graphically, I really like this graphically.
Oh, I love the design of this game.
It's like playing through a graphic novel, guys. It is so neat. From a graphical presentation. That's a huge hit for me. A huge plus for me is graphics in this game.
Absolutely.
So, you know, from a gameplay showcase, I'm not really sure what else to say here.
Well, you know, I don't want to spoil
and
too much.
I'm still working on what I want to say on the review because I want to play a little bit more before I get there and really give my final thoughts on it.
I know we have some roguelike fans and some roguelite fans on the channel as subscribers, and so I know we're gonna have some viewers that are interested in a game like this. So I don't want to ruin too much for them. I want to give them a chance to get in and play this for themselves. Let me ask you this. Because we're all about no BS here on the channel. I don't want to get into the review too deep. I don't want to get into review mode. But I want to know, Mr. YouTube, does this game have a recommendation? Do we have at least a recommendation on the channel for this game?
I will give it a recommendation, yes. Probably with some, caveats. If I'm to go off what I'm thinking just right now, I want to get another day or two's worth of gaming on this before I can really answer it. But my initial thought is because I like the overall presentation so much, and there is enough permanent progression to keep you on that one more run.
There is a lot of it.
That's so important when we talk roguelikes, guys. I have to get that one more run vibe. If I don't get that, the game's a no. Okay? You're killing the whole point of it. So when I play roguelikes, I need to say just one more run. And I
heard you say that.
I was even saying that a few times while we were playing. So
I heard you say it.
If I get that vibe, I'm all there. And I do get that when I play this. So I really like that. So there are a few things where I would caution, and we'll talk about those when we get into the review. But on a general, overall sense, I would give this a recommendation based on what I've played so far. Yes.
Awesome. Very cool. We've got Fury Unleashed here. Awesome game studio. Hooked us up with that pre-release code, baby. We're playing this on PS4 Pro.
PS4 Pro.
And first of all, we want to know your first impressions of what we've shown you here and what we've kind of discussed down in the comments. Give us your thoughts on Fury Unleashed. Have you heard about this game before today? Were you following it all? Do you know anything about it? And like the video if you guys enjoyed us getting our hands on this. And we will see each and every one of you right here next time for more content like this. But also don't forget, right here next time for the Fury Unleashed pre-release. No BS review. Mr. YouTube, I'm excited.
I am too. And one more point I want to make that I think we forgot to mention. The baseline mode here is called hard mode, right? And we were talking that we were having pretty good struggle on that. So the grind is real on that mode. There is also an easy mode on here as well that actually lets you adjust the difficulty and adjust how much damage enemies do, how much health you lose, or all kinds of different things. So there is some of that tuning that is actually available to the player if you're maybe playing this with somebody who's not as adept at gaming as maybe you are, or they're not familiar with roguelikes or whatever it is. So there is some accessibility options in this game, which I'm very happy to see because, to be quite honest, we're needing to use them.
Well, Mr. YouTube, you know what they call easy difficulty these days?
Journalist mode.
No, they call it pleb mode.
Pleb mode these days.
Yeah,
okay.
Journalist mode is actually medium difficulty. We're on pleb
So yes,
mode,
we're glad they included pleb mode here for our gaming pleasure. We have been using it, and it is there. So if you guys are wondering about that, there are ways to adjust the difficulty to be able to bring this into to show it to other people.
Absolutely. So once again, I want to give a shout out to Awesome Game Studio. Thank you guys for making this happen for us. Fury Unleashed your thoughts in the comments, plebs. Like the video if you enjoyed this pre-release gameplay showcase. And we'll see you right here next time for the No BS pre-release review.
I cannot wait. It's going to be very, very spicy. You're welcome.
GG, yo plebs.